Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Oh, I forgot to do one other thing here, George. I have a split screen, so I can have both you and me on at the same time. Yeah.
Oh man, if I'd known that, I'd have worn my suit.
George Mullen, City Councilor, is with us. And first of all, I know you are a retired vet, and I just want to thank you for your service to the country. Navy, right?
Yes, sir. Only service.
Well, I've heard of others.
There's a couple.
There's a couple. Well, that's good. You were Pacific, Atlantic?
I was on both. I started off on the Atlantic side. Now I was on the Pacific side. Plus, I was in D.C. and New Orleans. Mm-hmm. New Orleans for quite a while, and D.C. for a little bit.
Yeah, and then New Orleans got hit again by another hurricane.
Yeah. Hey, you on that Gulf Coast, you got to be prepared.
Got to be ready for it. Well, that's good. Let's see, and you've been on the city council now. Is this your second year?
No, it's third.
Third year, okay.
About 3.5 years.
3.5, wow.
Time flies.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed being on the...
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Opportunity to meet people that I probably would have never met. Talk to people that I probably would have never talked to, because, people are always coming up, well, this is this and this.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just mention it to somebody. We'll see if we can do something about it.
Yeah. So that's, and I asked that question of Superintendent Null, so it's not a surprise since you heard it, but, you're a counselor now. People come up and they ask you questions all the time about different things. How do I get the lid fixed on my dumpster, and how do I get this, that? What are some of the more interesting questions as a counselor that you have been asked by a citizen?
Well, probably the one that sticks in my mind more than anything is the question of why don't the city do more for vets? And my response, of course, is what would you like to see done? And then thereafter, it's like, well, I'm like, okay, well, I think we're doing quite a bit for vets as far as I'm concerned, but if you can actually have something that you think we need to be doing, it's just like the question without thought of what you really want. Mm-hmm. You're just asking me for something that I don't know what you want, so I can't really answer it,
Yeah, and it gets people to thinking.
Yeah. Hopefully it gets them to thinking.
Well, that's the idea. Nothing wrong with thinking and having a conversation. And,
correct.
And maybe there's something that they'd like to see done that, in a way, is already being done, and they just need to be put together with the right resource. So it's a good thing. Well, so did you draw the short straw? Is that why you're doing this today?
Yeah, this is the second time I've drawn that short straw in the last few days. It's not a problem, though. I enjoy coming down here to talk to you.
Yeah, no, we enjoy all the counselors and the mayor. We appreciate your time to do this. Well, where would you like to begin? You've got your agenda and your notes.
I got my homework with me. Basically, it's just what from the meeting that we went through last night, the various items. Most interesting to most people, I would imagine, is the ordinance that we passed for the Cannabis Act. Due to the Cannabis Act, it's something that we had to do in order to kind of not limit, but ensure that the city was safe, and for as businesses coming in to establish their whatever, the manufacturing or distribution or sales or whatever. Mm-hmm. That was probably the most, not controversial, but the most, I'll say even the most important thing that we did last night.
So can you give us some highlights then of what this new ordinance will lay out?
Basically, we're along the lines with the state. Of course, we have to be, but we added a few things, just like no closer than 300 feet to a school or a church. Well, we also added a daycare center, mental health facility or hospital, those things that also, we don't want that type of business near those, any nearer to those items than anything else, for especially schools. Mm-hmm. Anything dealing with kids, of course, we want to make sure that's, but it's along the lines of what the state's Cannabis Act is saying. It's just that we kind of tweaked it where it fits Artesia.
Okay. Yeah. And these restrictions needed to be in place because the state's going to start permitting
correct, Mundi.
these types of establishments, and I guess they want to make sure they know where they can buy property, and where they don't want to. They seem to be really worried about these cannabis people, that they get stuck buying a piece of property that isn't allowed in the local ordinance. So you got to get this done so that they don't make bad real estate decisions. And I'm like, when is the state worried about anybody else's real estate decisions?
They're looking at it a little different, I imagine.
Yeah.
I know that they are.
That's true. So now, so this ordinance is in place, and I think you join other cities and the counties.
It actually goes in effect 5 days from the time that we voted to impose that particular ordinance. So beginning of next week.
Okay.
And it's one of those things now, there is no question, as you want to come in and do business, here's the ordinance that pertains to it, and here's, you have to go through these steps in order to do what you want to do in these locations, The question of, can I do it? Yes, you can do it because the state allows you to do it, but can I do it here in this location? No, because our ordinance prevents that.
Right. So, okay. Well, I'll have to take a look at that because, I got about 3 acres of land here, South Roselawn, where the tower is.
Right.
And, maybe we ought to. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know if you're in, I don't know if you're in the right zone. You might want to check with Jim McGuire and see if you're in the correct zone in order to do what you might want to do.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, can I grow some pot here? Well, I don't want to grow it. No, it's an interesting time because did you ever in your wildest imagination, because you're old enough to remember all of
I'm from the 60 time frame.
Exactly. Do you ever, in your wildest imagination, think we would be at this point in
Not at all.
In our country?
Not at all. I mean, it's just, I'm surprised by a lot of things that we do compared to when I was growing up or a little later when I was a young adult. But it's the changing of times. I was in the computer side of the things when I was in the service, and I saw this evolution. And it's just like, okay, it's going to happen. Where are you going to participate at? Mm-hmm. And I guess this, without looking at it many years ago, I guess this is basically along the same lines, Slowly but surely, 1 state, 2 states, all states soon, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting,
Progress.
too. Well, yeah, some people call it that. Some people... we're going down the swirling receptacle.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm a firm believer in the Bible, and if the first part's true, so is the last part. So
yeah, that's right.
It's just a part of that thing that we have to do to get to where we're supposed to be going.
Yeah, no, it really is interesting, and we seem to have leadership at the state level that is just really gung-ho for this.
Going to it.
And it's still illegal from a federal standpoint,
Correct.
and I've really been surprised that at the federal level, whether it's go ahead and just legalize it so that all the states can do it, or enforce it because it still is against the law federally. I'm just surprised the federal government hasn't taken action one way or the other,
They've kind of like taken an approach of hands off. I don't know why, but...
Yeah. That has been a puzzle. I mean, I'm like, well, we'll make a decision one way or the other. Either it's still against federally, and start slapping these states down, or just say, you know what, we're gonna go with the flow here, and we're gonna take it off the books, if you will, or modify it. But oh well, Congress doesn't do a lot of things, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that goes into effect in 5 days, and so now
5 days from it. I'm saying 5 days from we voted on it last night, so I'm thinking probably during the course of next week.
Okay. Well, get ready, folks. The real estate folks, get ready. Your permitting folks, get ready to go. Here come the pot
weeders. Weeders. And that's not to say anything bad about the medical use of marijuana.
That's exactly right.
But there's a lot of problems that come along with what we are walking into, as far as homelessness. Yeah, I don't know if Artesia said, but homelessness and a lot of other things that come along with it that's happening in other states.
Oh yeah. Be ready for it because it's going to be here along with the other. Yeah. I think most people probably are of that opinion. That I think folks have accepted that the medical aspect of it is there's definitely some benefits from it there, but as far as the Well, anyway, we're not going to solve that question, are we,
Not
George?
today. Not today.
Well, good. Well, what else did you want to cover there?
Well, basically, we just passed a lot of things. A good thing for individuals is they got the Pecos Running Club has the annual Haunted Hustle on October the 30th. You know, it's like a walk, run, 5K. And then in addition to that, they'll have the Turkey Trot, which is in November. And I forgot the young lady's name that presented it to us last night, but it sounds like it's a well-organized thing. I may go out there to see it, but I won't be participating because I don't think I can walk 5K. I definitely am not running 5K. But
I'm with you there.
It would be something great that is something great for the community, and they have several other entities that are coming in from out of town, like Carlsbad or Ross also. And Flexi's a big supporter of it. And then we have a little presentation by our Economic Development Director, Robert Watcher, discussing the city's trying to get a bond issue for, I guess it would be low-income housing, apartment complex between Flexi and the Haven of Hope that's beneficial for the community because there's a possibility that, you know, we have more people, we have more economic growth and so on and so forth. But we as a city council that deferred participating because we felt that the MFA out of Santa Fe Department of Finance has already set up something to make this happen with that organization, and it's on track. All they have to do is initiate it. So we'll wait and see how that all comes out, and if it works well, maybe we'll do something in the future.
Okay. So instead of going to two different entities, the council wants to see how they get along with the other process they're already
and
involved.
we're unsure. It was mentioned last night that maybe even the county was approached to do the same thing, and I think they deferred also.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like a great project, but we as a council decided it wasn't a great project for us at this time.
Okay. All right.
And of course, we always have a little public hearing pertaining to land usage, you know, as far as lots being combined, so on and so forth. We went through some of that last night. And the main thing, like I said, was speaking about the Cannabis Act. But other than that, it was a normal, I would say normal anyway, normal night, a little longer than other times. We went in the executive session to speak of some litigation things and also some personnel things, but there was no action taken on any of that.
Okay.
And we had I'll give our attorney a shout out. It was great to see him at the meeting again. Of course, every time he comes, you know, we got to pay some money. So we don't have to see him all the time. It's great to have seen him, you know.
He was glad to be seen.
Oh, yeah, well, he was probably real happy to be here. Nah, just kidding, but he's a great guy, so I'll just give him a shout out. Lower our fees.
How much? I wonder how much that shout out will cost you.
Maybe I'll get a cup of coffee from him or something.
Isn't that funny? That's a common joke with attorneys. He's retired now, but we had a Washington, D.C. attorney that represented us on our dealings with the Federal Communications Commission. And every time we had a discussion about something, you know, I'd look in the mail a few days later and there'd be the charges for all that. And one time I asked him, I said, his name was Ron. I said, Ron, how much is it going to cost me to say good morning? He did not like that question. He got a little mad at me.
Yeah, they usually charge per minute. But that's the profession.
That's the profession. Yeah,
profession.
I'm sure they're used to those types of questions and getting all that. Can you stick around for a little bit? I need to take a news break here. George Mullen is with us. He's one of our city councilors, and we're recapping last night's city council meeting. We're going to take a break. Jared's got some news for you. We have our Eddy County Sports Report with Eric Butler, and Christy Scales will join us for the Dallas Cowboys update. And I'm sure there's 2 or 3 Cowboys fans out there that would like to know what's happening with the Cowboys. They've been dealing with some COVID players missing because of COVID and stuff like that. But I don't know. Are you a Cowboys fan, George?
I'm definitely not a Cowboys
You're not.
fan. San Francisco 49ers.
So not only are you not a Cowboys fan, you're a 49ers fan.
Exactly right.
There's a little history between those two teams, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, how are they doing now? Are they?
I think they won again. I hadn't really followed them beginning of this year. I usually get more serious toward the middle of the year when I see what they're going to do and how they're doing. But I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
They've had a great defense for a couple of years. Just try to get that offense on.
Get them back on track. I was tickled last night. There were some Cowboys fans that I was with, and they were talking about the game last Thursday. The Cowboys lost to Tampa Bay, and it was a really good game. And they scored and they went ahead, and they left too much time for Tom Brady, and he took them down, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. And the person that was there was saying, we're mad at the kicker, the Dallas kicker, because he missed some points. And I said, now wait a minute. As long as New England, see, I'm stuck on it. As long as Tampa Bay is within 7 points, Tom Brady was going to take them down. If they needed a field goal, they were going to get a field goal. If they needed a touchdown, they were going to get a touchdown. And they said, well, yeah, you're probably right.
So the Cowboys didn't do anything wrong.
They didn't do anything wrong. They just came up a little short. But they play this weekend and Sunday afternoon, and we'll see how they do. I hope they do well.
I think they have a very good team.
Yeah. They just need a little luck to kind of fall their way for a change. So, All right, we're going to be back. Talk more with George. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The animal shelter in Artesia remains closed to the public. That's according to a September 9th Facebook post from Artesia Police. Drop-offs are not being allowed right now, but pickups can be arranged with animal control by appointment. You can call dispatch at 616-7155 for more details. No adoptions are available right now. New Mexico's highest court has ruled that state law does not require a vehicle's tail lights to be working perfectly, only that they work well enough for their intended use. A ruling Monday by the state Supreme Court stems from a man's conviction for violating a state law requiring certain vehicle equipment be in, quote, good working order. And election officials are deploying ballot drop boxes across New Mexico for those who choose to cast absentee ballots without walking indoors during the upcoming local election for public offices, including mayor of Albuquerque and Santa Fe. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Welcome to DSI, New Mexico's business technology leader. We help you digitally transform your business to do more, faster, and more secure. Selecting DSI gives you access to the world's best technologies, award-winning local technicians, and our commitment to the New Mexico communities we serve. One local source for all your technology products, services, and the personalized support you can only get from DSI.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. Well, 13 is an unlucky number, but the Carlsbad Cave girls who just got their 13th victory probably aren't planning on staying on that number for very long. Not the way the season is going. They're not going to be there for very long. Carlsbad yesterday wiped out Artesia 10-0 to move to 13-0 on the season. Artesia falls to 6-6. Now, you may think, well, what can you get from a blowout like that? Well, let's take into consideration what Carlsbad did over the weekend. On Friday in Albuquerque, they knocked off La Cueva 2-1 in overtime. The Dugan sisters both scored. Abby and Alexa. Alexa's a senior, of course. Abby is a freshman. Abby was the only scorer on Saturday as Carlsbad defeated another highly touted Albuquerque area team, knocking off Rio Rancho 1-0. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio AM 990.
Hey everyone, with today's Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Sunday at the Chargers, Dallas faces quarterback Justin Herbert, who's made a strong impression on the defensive coordinator. You'll hear from Dan Quinn after this.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, and get an exclusive DCU fan pack and member benefits. Dallas Cowboys United members receive exclusive access to virtual content, Cowboys Pro Shop discounts, early entrance to select Cowboys events, VIP experiences, and more. Memberships start at only $20. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United to join today. That's DallasCowboys.com/United.
Whether you're getting ready to purchase a home, setting up a college fund for your kids, or preparing for retirement, you're working hard to live a life you love. And you deserve peace of mind knowing your home, loved ones, and future are protected. At SWBC, we can help you assess your personal situation and create a customized solution to make sure you're prepared for whatever life throws your way. Visit SWBC.com to learn about your mortgage, insurance, and wealth management options today. That's SWBC.com.
On the Cowboys sideline Sunday in L.A., I can't wait to get my first look at Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. Last year's Offensive Rookie of the Year has impressed Dallas defensive coordinator Dan Quinn.
This is a guy that can really rip the ball. And then I would say outside the pocket, this is a player that can really create on the move, much like Dak does, where he gets outside and now he can rip the ball down the field, and that's when the plays get extended 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds, and he's got the arm strength to deliver it all the way here to all the way back over to the other side.
Pass rushers Dorrance Armstrong and Terrell Basham may have to step in for Randy Gregory, who's on the COVID list. On offense, Jerry Jones said yesterday Terrence Steele will start in place of suspended right tackle Lyle Collins. With the Cowboys at the Star, I'm Christy Scales.
Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show after our Cowboys update there. And, you know, that's one of the topics, George, that it used to be sports was a topic that, you know, everybody could get into. You know, you had your teams that you supported and your teams you didn't, and that's what you talked about. And so I hope we get back to more of that. And, of course, we got a lot of Bulldog fans around here. And
yeah.
Did you grow up here in?
Yes, I did.
You grew up here?
I graduated in 70.
Graduated in 70 from Artesia High School.
Best class. Let's not forget that, the best class. For all you people out there that graduated from Artesia High, the best class is still 70.
Yeah. You know, I was looking at a thing on the YouTube, rock and roll music. This particular person's opinion was 1971 was the best year for rock and roll music in the history of rock and roll music.
Well, I'm not going to say it was the best year, but it was a great year.
And there was some pretty good stuff that came out in 19...
you know, they were playing music then. They weren't messing with electronics, I'll say. They were actually playing. We had musicians that were playing music.
That's right.
During the course of that time. And I'll say 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of those.
That's right.
Well, for me, it was, all those years because I enjoyed it. I still do.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm a little younger than you, but not by much. And
I look younger, though.
That is true. That is completely true. George is the best-looking person in the room right now.
This is not gray. This is Silvery Fox. If
I don't
there's
remember.
any confusion.
Is that a color I can get?
Hey, they have 500,000 of them, so why not Silvery Fox?
Silvery Fox. Well, George is on the city council. Which district are you in?
District 2.
District 2. Yeah. And who's the other counselor with you from
District 2? Jared Moreau.
Jared Moreau.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm sure you've met every person in District 2 at some point.
I've met quite a few of them. I did, been initially doing a walk around, introduce myself to folks, and thereafter running into folks. You're in my district, aren't you? I said, well, the whole city is part of my district, so whatever it is, just bring it to me.
That's right.
Let me know what it is, and I'll tell you what I can do or not do, or I'll see what.
Now, what committees do you serve on?
I serve on I'm chair of the police and fire, and also personnel.
Okay. How's our police and fire departments? How are they doing?
We actually hired three? I think 3 people here just in the last week or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 3. And I mean, you know, we're still down a little bit and still looking for people to apply.
Now, was this in the fire department or police department?
Police department, but the fire department also, you know, is down a little bit. And, you know, we have that county and the, what's that place called down in southeast New Mexico? Yeah, WHIP. You know, they have that loan money. One of them's federal, and the other one's just throwing money at people. So it's hard to kind of have people come this way.
Yeah.
But, you know, we still have great departments, and they, regardless of how they're staffed, they're going to do whatever they need to do, make sure that we're safe.
That's right. That's right. And has the police chief given his update in the last couple of meetings? How are things going?
Well, we generally just get a status report, and then if there's anything special that he has to report, he'll report it. So everything is basically the same.
Okay. He
reported that there was I think a duck they picked up this time.
A duck?
You know, they do animal control. He mentioned a duck. I'm like, a duck? Ducks running loose. Be careful out there.
What is going on in this town?
I don't know.
with ducks, that's a little unusual, isn't it?
Definitely. That's the first one I've heard of anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see if the duck enjoys the water in the Heritage Walkway over there.
Yeah, that would be a good place to take him.
We'd have our own little duck race.
Yeah. Mess around, ducks will be landing.
I don't know if that's such a good thing with the trees.
I know pigeons aren't.
Yeah, no, they're not a very popular bird. Was there anything else from the council meeting you'd like to?
Well, you know, like I said, we went through our normal stuff where all the committees reported, nothing serious either way. You know, building permits, and you know, we get a status report of building permits, and well, you know, that thing about weed control, because you know we had a lot of rain during the course of time, and those weeds are jumping. In addition to that, we're getting ready to go in the winter weed cycle, so we had a little report from Jim on that, because him and Jesse Dominguez are doing Dominguez. I don't want to say him and Jesse are doing a great job of trying to keep everybody.
Well, it's starting to look a little bit better because, like you say, we had that period of rain, and then they all just kind of blew up, and then it just took a little while to get caught up with it.
I'm just glad that they haven't come by my house recently.
Uh-oh.
But I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, you know, it was that thing. We had a couple of resignations, you know, stuff that we normally have. Some individuals attending and training, but it was a longer weekend, a longer night than we usually have, but it was a good night as far as information and what we're able to accomplish.
So you said you were on the police and fire committee, and then the other one was the
personnel.
Personnel. So those kind of dovetail with each other in many cases right now. With
learning a lot, especially personnel side, because Miss Countryman and Sandy Countryman, our HR director, she's very knowledgeable. So she keeps me in line.
Okay.
That's what we can and can't do.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Well, that's good because you want that to be advised and done very, very well.
Correct.
How's our budget situation looking right now? Have you seen any latest?
Well, I'll just say that we've had a couple of months of 1 month or 2 months of GRT that's a little bit above what we had budgeted for. So things keep going like they're going and we don't go back into a total shutdown, I think we'll be all right.
Okay. Well, let's hope not. We don't want to do the shutdown thing.
At all.
Is the city looking at any major road or other projects right now?
We have 26th Street is next up. 26th Street from Hermosa going back to Grand is on, I'll say it's on the board.
Okay.
Which would be great. Once again, may disturb a little travel pattern for people for a little bit, but they'll be happy when it's done.
Okay. Do you know when you hope to get that?
The infrastructure director didn't give us any information as to when it'll start. I saw that we had gotten the funding necessary for doing the design, design phase and so on and so forth, and what the whole project costs.
Okay.
The actual start date, I'm unsure.
Okay, but that's kind of the next big one that's coming up.
And then I think we're going to be going from 1st Street over to 13th Street on Hermosa.
Okay.
Not as much disruption for individuals because the road is already there wide enough. It's just there's some areas where you have to repave, or I don't think we're doing any sewer runs, but
Okay.
that type of thing.
Well, that'll be good. Well, there's been so much new construction between 20th and 26th. A lot of new roads have been opened up and a lot of houses been built that probably needs to be upgraded a little bit.
Most definitely.
So because that's the way people will go to get out and get to work or
those homes on the other side of 26 on most of the newer homes and so forth. And those in between 24th and 26 on Runyon, the streets that are in that area. There's a lot of construction. There's a lot of homes going up.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Superintendent last hour said that our student numbers are holding steady, which is a good thing because we've heard that other parts of New Mexico are not so fortunate when it comes to student.
There was a mad exodus last year.
Yeah.
In various communities, but into Texas, so the kids can go in school, so on and so forth. But I think the superintendent and his assistants, and in addition to that, the teachers and everything, I think they stayed on top of everything. And there wasn't a lot of happiness during the course of that year, but, they got us through it, and now it seems like we're getting back on track.
Yeah. And at the city level, and that's why I was asking you about the budget process. So, like you said, as long as we don't go through any more shutdowns or anything, the city's budget should be in pretty good shape.
Be all right.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear because it has been a very challenging time for everybody. Cities, counties, states, individual families, school districts. I mean, everybody's just, this last couple of years has been kind of crazy. It is. I don't remember ever experiencing anything quite like what we've gone through here the last couple of years. Can you think of anything?
Well, all I can say is I was looking forward to my golden years that seem to have turned copper.
Or silver.
with the things that are going on.
Yeah. No, it's been a very challenging time. So, well, that's good. Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about or
yes,
share with the folks?
I'd really like to just send a prayer out for all those people that are dealing with the COVID thing and the families. And I know it's difficult because there's a lot of death from it. But, I personally just would like to say we're praying for you. In addition to that, within the city itself and its constituents in District 2 and any other person in the city, I ride around all the time. Stop me at any time, ask me anything, or bring up anything. I'm more than willing to take it to whomever it needs to go to, or have discussion with you about it.
Excellent. George, is there anything else you'd like to cover today?
Well, this has been a lot of fun and everything, but I'm sure I'll be glad when the mayor or the pro tem are able to come back and do this thing. Sometimes some of us, I don't have a job, or I don't work, I'll say. So getting up at being here at 8 o'clock might be a little cutting into my sleep.
Oh, I apologize. Well, we have a sofa down the hallway if you need to just take a little nap or something.
That's why I got coffee.
Well, George, always good to see you. Thanks for coming in and doing this, and appreciate the work that you and the other counselors are doing at the city council to keep the city going.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks. All right. George Mullen with us on the Good Morning Artesia radio show.